Pentagon attacking DEI again, getting rid of Jackie Robinson, conspiracies on JFK assassination, and do strip clubs have the best food? We're going to get into it. Let's get it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dadding a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about Jackie Robinson. And then we're going to be talking about strip clubs. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. Look, how your brackets looking right now?
Terrible. Terrible. But you know what? That's all right. I did have St. John's to win it all. And of course, you know, they fell yesterday. So, but
did you pick St. John just because our cousins went to St. John's?
She made a very convincing argument because I asked the same question. I said, are we rooting for St. John's here just because you're an alumni? And she said, no. She made a convincing argument about their defense and everything. So I said, okay. And I went for it but you know, I wasn't going to pick Duke. I wasn't going to do it. As a Terrapin, I can't do that.
Well, we're not even in the same conference anymore. We're in the Big Ten.
Right.
And speaking of the Terrapins, I have a friend who is an Indiana University alum.
Mm-hmm.
And like he was killing me because he was like, Maryland football sucks. I was like, yeah, but you know, we're not known for football. We're more known for basketball. It's like Maryland basketball hasn't been good at all. But this year, Maryland basketball has been good. But I haven't watched any games.
Yeah.
None. So last weekend in the Big Ten Conference Tournament, I was like, let me watch this Maryland-Michigan game, see what Maryland's talking about. And there was this one player. First of all, Angel Reese's brother plays for Maryland. So that
didn't know that.
Well, didn't know that. But also Angel Reese, before she played at LSU, played at Maryland.
Also didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. The whole Reese family, they say they're from Baltimore, but no, they're from Randallstown. And if you know anything about Randallstown,
that's Baltimore County.
That's Baltimore. Well, Randallstown is like, it's the black suburbs. I'm going to just say that's what it is. It's the black suburb. Everybody trying to get out of the city. Every black person trying to get out of the city. Go to Randallstown. Randallstown is one of the blackest towns. I know. It's blacker than D.C. Well, because D.C. is more, it used to be Chocolate City. Now it's kind of Caramel City, if that. But anyway, so I'm watching the Maryland-Michigan game. And there's this player that just jumps up off the screen. Now, you know, I played a little bit. You know, I coached a little bit.
Time to time,
From time to time. And so I'm like, I think I'm a pretty good evaluator of talent. And this one player just jumped off the screen to me. And I was like, man, he's my favorite player on the team. After watching one game, I just knew it. Okay. So I was talking about it with my friend who went to Indiana. And he was like, well, who is he? And I said, his name is Queen. He's only a freshman. I was like, I wonder if he's like, I think he has pro potential from what I've seen, but I wonder what his like, if he's entering in the draft or anything. I looked him up. That boy is a top 5 pick. No wonder he jumped off at the screen.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what you get for not knowing. For not watching any games. You're like, this boy might have some potential. Well, so does everyone else. Everyone else thinks that. You and everyone else also thinks that. You didn't discover nobody knew.
I thought I was like, I got it. Look, this is boy on Maryland. The boy name is Queen. You mean the guy that's projected to be a top 5 pick? Oh yeah, I didn't know that. I watched one game. But the boy is good. And then I started talking trash to my friend. He was like, we're not going to do that. You ain't watched not one game all year. You watch one game in which they lose.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you're a Maryland fan again. I was like, look, I'm an alumni. I can come in and out of my fandom whenever I want. Yeah.
Okay. Because as long as my degree says University of Maryland, I can root for them anytime I feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
And period. Shout out to Derek Queen.
The boy. Like, yeah. projected top 5 pick. Of course, he jumped off the screen.
What good for a reason.
I didn't do a bracket because, like I said, I didn't watch any games. These are the games I'm watching. And I watched that Arkansas St. John game yesterday because I'm a huge John Calipari fan. He left Kentucky to go coach at Arkansas, which, people's like, why are you going to leave Kentucky to go to Arkansas? Money. And they got a little rivalry, him and John Calipari and Rick Pitino. Funny aside about Rick Pitino. The reason why I never trusted him as coaching is because he's had a lot of scandals. And one of his scandals is he had an affair on his wife. Now, there's been a lot of men that are in positions of power that have had affairs on their wives.
Yes. There are a lot of men who work at Foot Locker who have had affairs on their wives.
Not even Foot Locker, sometimes Foot Action.
Right.
But Rick Pitino took a young lady to an Italian restaurant, and while his boy was watching out for him, had sex with the young lady. And the young lady basically, like, I don't know, what's that, blackmailed him and something. But and it came out in legal cases that the whole interaction, and this is the reason why I don't trust Rick Pitino, the whole interaction of this alleged affair, not alleged, of this affair that actually happened, was 10 seconds. 10 seconds. It's not an exaggeration.
Timed it.
I guess my man did. He was like, "You done already?" 10 seconds. I mean, Ricky is old.
He's not a young man.
And he is a, young, I guess a young tenderoni, my man. 10 seconds. That's the reason why I don't trust him. That's how I knew St. John was going to win.
St. John's lost.
I mean, I knew that they weren't going to win because of that.
You're
going to have an affair, you're going to last 10 seconds. I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
What is, that's what I was just about to say. How do you handle the pressure?
Right. Not well.
Not well.
No.
You know what? I wasn't following you, but now I'm like, okay, I get it.
It took me a little while to get around to my points.
How do you react in times of stress?
I can tell this is gonna be a funny episode because I already started sweating under these lights. Damn, these lights is hot.
Mine is not that bright. I mean, it's not that hot. So
I got multiple lights.
You got a full lighting setup.
And still not good.
And it took me, how long have we been doing this show? 8 years? And I finally got a light?
We have not been doing this show for 8 years.
It's been too long that it took me to get this damn light. So.
Yeah, you got a light. And I'm sitting over here with 4 lights, background lights, front light, and lights still ain't right. I be looking at myself in the video.
I got one light.
I hate mirrors and video cameras. Okay. I look at myself in the mirror before I start the show. I'm like, damn, I look good. I'm ready. Then I see the videos. I'm like, damn, this lighting really screwed me up. I be looking washed because the light, I'm already light skinned. I'm in my winter white phase. And the lights is hitting me directly. And I'm trying to light everything up, but it's still my complexion. I can't wait for the sun to come out and I can get darker.
I'm having that same issue with this light. It's a bright light. I used to have a much more subdued light that gave me like a amber glow. Okay, this is my true color. And it is true to life. So I'm in my sugar cookie phase right now.
Not sugar cookie.
Wait till sun comes out. I'll hit snickerdoodle. That's about as far as I get. But a little bit of cinnamon on top. A little bit.
I get dark caramel so I can't wait for the sun to come out.
Yeah, you and our brother are very lucky. Y'all tan easily and quickly.
Easily.
And it's a beautiful even tan, and I just don't.
No, well,
I used to be a brown little kid, and that's gone.
I don't know what it is, but me and you are hitting different strides in life. I was actually lighter skinned when I was younger. Yeah. As the older I'm getting, the darker I'm getting.
Yeah, it's reversing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I can't say I was ever darker skinned.
No, he was never.
I was ever dark skinned. I was darker skinned, but I was never dark skinned, unfortunately, even though in my spirit.
And in your spirit, you a dark-skinned soul
Yes.
sister,
Yes. You
sister
can't tell me
soldier.
I'm not. You can't
Right.
tell me I'm not. Yeah.
But in reality,
In my
you
mind. But in
in
reality
my
is.
mind. Yeah,
It
it's
ain't
definitely in
adding
your
up.
mind.
It's in my mind. It ain't adding up in real life. It's just not. But that's
Yeah.
all right.
It happened to mom as well, because mom was darker, and then
Mhm.
she's gotten
Yeah.
lighter as she's gotten older.
Yeah.
It's that vitiligo. I got the
It's
reverse
not
vitiligo.
vitiligo. Jeez, Louis. I don't know what it is. I don't know if melanin production slows as you get older. I don't understand at all, but my skin just changed. Like it used to tan and now it just burns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand why you keep smacking the table and it's hitting the mic and it's a booming sound. Stop hitting
Because I'm very
animated.
animated today. All
Stop
right,
being so animated.
I'm gonna put my hands in my lap.
You ain't gotta put your hands in your lap, but just stop
No,
hitting
because
the
I
desk.
will keep banging the table.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna get worse in the second segment, trust me, because you're
Oh
gonna be
boy.
banging the table.
Oh boy.
Speaking of banging the table or just things making you irritated, you know how they always advertise these pots and pans and frying pans and stuff like that as
Mhm.
non-stick, easy to clean, won't be tarnished.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lie. Because
Yeah,
I'm
of
gonna
course
tell
it
you
is.
right now, I made some I was sauteing some peppers yesterday.
Mhm.
Just some peppers. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because I made me a steak and cheese sandwich.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, it was
Give
still
yourself
keto.
some heartburn again, but
No,
okay.
no, 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 no. It was all right though. I
Oh,
didn't get
okay.
myself some heartburn. You
Okay.
know,
Okay, good.
I had my keto bread. I had my the keto chips, and it was a good solid keto cheat-esque meal,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm sauteing the peppers in the frying pan, which
Mhm.
probably is my first mistake. I probably should have something else. I don't know, but that's what I
No,
got.
you would saute them and yeah, okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
And I'm cooking the steak in the air fryer, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to eventually add the peppers to the steak in the air fryer.
Mhm.
So as I'm sauteing the peppers, I'm like, this is really damaging the pan, like it's burning my pan, because you want to get the peppers kind of burnt, but not burnt.
Yeah, but that don't mean you got to have an eye all the way up.
I didn't have the eye all the way up. I had it like halfway.
Okay. Okay.
And I added some salt and pepper and some onion powder to it.
Okay. Okay.
Did not taste well. I don't know what I need to do to add to it to make the peppers taste well. Probably.
I honestly don't think I add any seasoning to my peppers.
Well, it tasted. Oh, okay. Maybe that was the problem then. I added too much seasoning to
because
the.
the pepper is the pepper's the spice.
Yeah, no, but I needed some more with the kick, because the steak. I don't think let's put it this way. I ate the sandwich and it was not like a real steak and cheese. I need like a skillet or something like that, or
Mhm.
with an old person in the back with a hairnet on
Okay.
that's sweating a little bit, because they
Little
just cook
bit.
it better
Yeah.
at a regular joint than
Yeah.
mine. But my frying pan is just all black on the bottom now. It's just fried. And it was supposed to be one of them Gotham steel type
Yeah.
situations that never stain, and it was a lie.
Yeah, it's a lie, not because the manufacturers though are being disingenuous. It's a lie because they're assuming that people are going to take care of their pans the way that they intend for people to take care of their pans. And that is to not burn the bottom of them, not put them in the dishwasher, wash them by hand. You got to treat your pans. Don't use metal utensils. A lot of people use metal utensils instead of like plastic utensils or what's the little like sometimes the spatulas is like a soft, it's not plastic, but it's soft material. I can't think of what it is, but anyway, like, people, they think that people are going to care for the pan. And it will hold up and it will last. But if you got that what were you cooking what oil were you using?
Oh, always extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
Always.
Then that pan was just up too high.
Oh, yeah.
The pan was just up too high. Like
I had-
the eye was up too high.
Yeah. Well, I had to get them fried.
Yeah, you cook them longer, but not hotter.
Well, I was hungry. I was hungry, and it was taking too long. Okay, so I'm like, let me just turn this.
That's why you never cook when you're hungry.
Well,
You don't cook when you're hungry.
Why? Because you rush it.
Because you're gonna rush it. Yes, because you're
Oh.
hungry and you want to eat. You cook when you know. Okay, look, I'm gonna be hungry around noon, so let me get it started at 11:30. Like that's when you cook. You cook before you get hungry.
Well, I ruined it. And then I got this another pan. It's like a griddle pan, not a griddle pan. It's
like a grill pan.
Yeah, it's flat.
Oh, no, that is a griddle. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I have a griddle pan,
Yeah.
but I did something to it and it's not even. so
Oh,
so it kind of like curls up a little bit. So like when I make my French toast, because I'm
yeah.
doing that after we film this today. Oh
Yeah.
man, my keto French toast, you take keto bread, you take some heavy cream, some vanilla extract, some cinnamon, and
Yeah.
some egg, right?
Yeah.
You
That's how
mix
you
that
make
all.
French toast. Yeah.
Shut up, Jay. I can't
Ladies and
stand you.
gentlemen, that's a normal recipe.
I didn't tell you what else I do to it.
Okay,
Okay,
go ahead.
all right. And then I put the butter on the pan.
Okay, still follow it step by step. Okay.
Then I cook the French toast, right?
Yeah.
And then I
Okay.
just let it cool down a little bit, just a
Mhm.
little bit.
Yeah.
And then I take some strawberry puree, sugar
Okay.
free,
Okay.
and I spread it on all of the French toast. And then,
Okay.
and then shut up. Okay, let me
I'm
finish my
listening.
recipe.
Okay.
And then I take the syrup with the butter, because I put syrup
Okay.
and butter, and I heat it up.
Yeah.
And I pour it over the bread, and then
Yeah.
I put some whipped cream on it.
Yeah. I just want everybody to know out there, keto bread and sugar-free strawberry puree does not make this a healthy meal. Like, it
Yes,
is
it
still
does.
full of fat and sugar.
Well, that's what
It's
keto. No, it's not. Not full of sugar. It's not full of sugar.
It's heavy cream in there. We got a bunch of butter and syrup.
Yeah, I mean, it's fat. Yeah, but that's what keto is. You get high fat
Okay.
diet, low sugar. That's what
That
it is.
that's helpful like that.
And where your body, first of all, your body needs fat.
Yes, your body needs
Okay.
all of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
so your body needs fat.
Yeah.
So what is essentially happening on keto is you're reducing your sugar intake, which is actually one of the reasons why people gain so much weight. You're reducing the sugar intake, and your
Okay.
metabolism is going to feed off of the fat that you're feeding it.
Okay.
And it's going to stop it from feeding off of the muscle in your body. So it's just the added fat in your body, and it's feeding off of it. That's how that works. When I lost all that weight, it
Mhm.
doesn't work for everybody. It's not for everybody. But
Right.
I know for me, it's the perfect
Yeah.
diet. You know,
Because I don't really consume a lot of sugar, but I do consume a lot of fat. And so, well, not anymore. But like, to me, a high fat, low sugar diet is my regular diet. That was my old diet
you think
from
you're not
before.
you think you're not consuming a lot of sugar, but when you break it down and you look at the nutrition facts on the box, whenever it says, whenever it's high in complex carbohydrates,
Mhm.
it's a lot of sugar in there.
Yeah. But
There's
if
a
it's
lot of sugar.
but I look at added sugar. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
okay.
looking at.
Yeah, I know, but just look at yeah, that's deceptive. The added sugar shouldn't be no added sugar.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Most of the
Yeah.
stuff I get is 0 sugar, and then what they're saying is not that there's no sugar in it, but that there's no added sugar in it.
Yeah, well, no. Yeah, no. If it
Yes.
says 0 sugar, it's supposed to be 0 sugar.
No,
or
there's gonna be
sugar-free.
there's gonna be sugar in it. Like, if there's carbs, it's
Sweetener.
gonna be sugar or sweetener or something. There's gonna be sugar
Yes.
in it.
It's
There's no
sweetener
added
is not a
sugar.
sugar. A sweetener
Even
is not sugar.
even if you just eating fruit, that's still sugar. There's no added sugar, but there's sugar in it. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah, there's
still
absolutely sugar in some
yeah,
fruit.
so there's
Yeah.
sugar. It's sugar. There's no added sugar.
I just feel like we're saying a lot
But
of
saying
sugar.
nothing. And I don't wanna say the word sugar anymore.
Right, I'm done with sugar. I don't wanna say
Speaking of which, I can eat again. Y'all know last week I had stomach flu or something. I don't
Yeah.
know what it was. It was horrible, but I am feeling much better now. Thank you for everybody that reached out. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I knew you was okay because you was meme bombing me this week.
Yes,
I
yeah.
knew that you was on spring break and you was okay. Because matter of fact, yesterday I got mad and threw my phone down because
'Cause I
you
sent so many.
Yeah, you sent so many.
And I
in
knew
like
I
a
was.
2-minute stretch.
Yes.
I was like, "There's no way. These are reels. Like, just give me a second to watch the reel before you send the new one."
The thing is, I'm going through them because I hadn't been on my phone. When I'm sick, everything stops. So I hadn't been on my phone, hadn't been on social media, hadn't been nowhere because I don't feel good. I don't feel good. I don't want to see nothing or hear nothing. So I'm catching up on all the funny things that have happened in the week that I've been sick. And so I was like, Bruce about to get meme bombed because I'm about to send him all these reels because to me, they're all funny or interesting or something like that. And plus, you never know where a show idea come from. So I just be sending you stuff.
Yeah, actually, you gave me a show idea from it's gonna be in the third segment from what you sent me. But
Mhm.
speaking of being sick, I'm sick and tired of this administration,
Boy.
and I'm gonna tell you why next. All right, Jay, you know who Jackie Robinson is.
Yes, of course.
Uh,
44.
yeah, 44. Great movie done by Chadwick Boseman.
Yes.
The first black man to be in Major League Baseball, World War II hero,
Mhm.
had his own webpage on the DOD website until recently. On March 19th, 2025, a DOD webpage about Jackie Robinson's World War II military service was temporarily removed, displaying a 404 error with DEI appended to the URL. It was restored later that day after media backlash. The page highlighted Robinson's Army service from 1942 to 1944, including his court-martial for refusing segregation on a bus, his honorable discharge, and his post-military baseball career, breaking the Major League Baseball's color barrier. Like I said, the page was inaccessible in the morning. In the afternoon, it was restored after media reports from ESPN and the AP News and the New York Times. The Pentagon later called it a mistake, but affirmed anti-DEI policies. Jay, they even came up with a new name for DEI. They call it Discriminatory Equity Ideology. That's what they call DEI now. This is all a part of the administration's process to get rid of DEI from everything. And that means removing things that have to do with race or gay. Gay is one of the buzzwords. They're using AI to scrub things, and they're saying because the AI will make some mistakes that this was done in error, but that it is still being done to scrub DEI basically from the world.
Yeah. Well,
Basically from the
not
world.
the world. Just the U.S. is got this concerted effort against nothing. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's a made up thing. Yeah. So if you are wondering, what is the point of attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion? It's the erasure of blackness and black people. Because if you could just take it on his face, Jackie Robinson was a celebrity, so and made great contributions during the war, so he had a page. It didn't. His blackness is secondary to that, and like it's not that it was important, of course, at the time because he's a black man, integrating Major League Baseball and things like that. But honestly, what was important was the story was what was important. But when they see blackness, right, they're inherent in their minds is this person is only here because they're black, not because they actually contributed something of worth and of merit. And the thing that I see floating around that is very true is if you think by removing diversity, equity, inclusion that you're making the playing field equal, then the people who needed the leg up might not have been us.
Jesse Jackson said something one time, and I'm paraphrasing. He was asked a question by a news reporter. This had to be in the 80s, 70s or 80s or something like that. And he was asked a question of why is it that black people in athletics excel so well? Is it something that's in our DNA or predetermined in us or physicality or anything like that? And he said,
are we just more athletic somehow?
are we just more athletic somehow? And he is just like, no, that's the only place where the rules are set in stone.
And they're public.
So everybody, that's the truest form of meritocracy.
Yes. When you get on the court, everybody has the same number of minutes in that quarter to get it done, and they all have to follow the same rules, and everybody knows the rules, and there's an official on the court that's enforcing the rules that everybody knows. It is equal.
It is equal.
Yes.
And we excel. Why is it that when we are given a chance, if the foot is removed from our neck just a little bit,
Yeah.
just a little bit,
Yeah.
we excel? After slavery, when we were freed, there are thriving towns, Black towns all over. I just learned this.
Mhm.
This year, in 2025, we are in March. I just learned this within the last 6-8 weeks,
Mhm.
that the Pentagon, where I live not more than 3 miles away from,
Mhm.
that the Pentagon is built on land that was a thriving Black town.
Mhm. I did not know that.
I just found this out, that Arlington, Virginia, that land was confiscated by eminent domain. And it
Wow.
was before that, it was a thriving Black town that had its
Yeah.
own schools and churches and shops and stores.
Mhm.
And there are numerous cases throughout this country where just the foot off our neck a little bit, the foot is still on the neck, but
Yeah.
the pressure just ain't as tight. We excel. Why is it that within 40 years
Mhm.
of the civil rights movement, we get a Black president?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because we're just as good as everybody else. And the thing is, they know that. Because if you really believed that enslaved people were not capable of living outside of enslavement, that they needed enslavement because they couldn't do anything on their own. They can't read, they can't write, they can't do anything. Why are you making laws to prohibit us from reading and writing?
Mm,
If
mm.
we're so unclean, unkempt, all these things, why are we cleaning your homes and taking care of your children? If we're degenerates, why are we caring for your children?
Why are we raising
Why
your
are we
children?
raising your children? Why are we taking care of every facet of your life? If we don't do, because they know exactly who we are and what we're capable of, and they've always known. And this is the point of all of this, is they have to keep the foot on our neck. They have to, if they're going to maintain power.
Or white supremacy. And I want to
Same.
examine that word, supremacy. Supreme is supposed to be the best, correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you are the best,
Mhm.
if you are adhering to the fact that you are supreme, why do you need to make laws and rules to hold other people back?
Right.
If the cream rises to the top,
Right.
then you don't need to do that.
Exactly.
But historically, there have been so many laws, ladies and gentlemen, laws. Look, I have a bank account with Navy Federal Credit Union.
Mhm.
It just came out 2 or 3 years ago that Navy Federal Credit Union was discriminating against Black people for mortgage loans.
Yeah.
This was happening in 2020s.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
this is a major institution
Yeah.
in Navy Federal Credit Union that's
sorry.
depriving people from finding a home that they can afford.
And what you have to understand about Navy Federal is this is you have to, it's exclusive membership, first of all. Not everybody can just join Navy Federal. And it's a credit union, which means the people who invest in this bank are the ones that own the bank. Okay.
Mhm.
And so you're telling me I got all my money and everything with you guys. I'm putting money into your business. This is a credit union. Okay. I'm one of the owners because I'm in this union, and I am still being discriminated against in the 2020s.
In the 2020s, that's crazy.
That's nuts.
That is crazy.
That's
let's
nuts.
not even talk about, and I'm not blaming them. Okay. I'm not blaming them, but let's not even talk about the programs that were instituted for a lot of Koreans who were immigrating to this country to be able to get storefronts in Black neighborhoods and loans to open up storefronts in Black neighborhoods that Black people were not allowed to
Yeah.
have loans and open up storefronts.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the reason why you see so many Asian Americans in the Black community, because there was a program specifically designated for Asian Americans that were immigrating to this country. I guess they weren't American yet, but Asians that are immigrating to this country to get loans and get storefronts in order to start businesses that were being deprived from Black people in their own community.
Yeah.
This was a legal thing.
What would be the reason to deny Black GIs the GI Bill?
That's another thing that doesn't get talked about.
What would be the reason for that?
That's another thing that doesn't get talked about. You know, when we talk about
we don't want a Black middle class. We don't want a Black middle class. That's what they didn't want. That was the point of that. Certainly don't want a Black upper class. Certainly don't want Black people building generational wealth.
And I just find it funny. You know, they took the word woke. And when I say they, realize I'm not talking about all white people. I'm not doing that.
Right.
And I'm not talking about only white people, because there are some self-hating Black people out there that's right along the ride, right along with these white supremacists. Yeah. So look, it is a racial issue. It is absolutely a racial issue, but I'm not attacking all white folks at all.
Yeah.
Because we have historically had white allies, especially in the Jewish community during the Civil Rights Movement. So I'm not attacking white people. I'm attacking white supremacists. Very specific. And white supremacists can also be Black, unfortunately. The self-hating ones.
Yes.
And I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, always taking something that we have that means something to us, Black people, to uplift us, and taking it and reversing it. Woke. You know, if I hear one more person use the term woke in a negative situation, I might grab him by the throat and slam him against the wall. Because it's not that just because you want to take the word and create a negative connotation to it doesn't mean that has a negative connotation to it. And now they're taking diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this was a press release from not only the Secretary, I think it was Secretary of State, but also head of the DOD, that has said that now DEI, from there is a new catchphrase for them. DEI stands for Discriminatory Equity Ideology. First of all, doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make sense. You can't offer discriminatory equity.
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But it doesn't have
all.
To make sense. It just has to be catchy.
Yeah.
It just has to be catchy. It doesn't have to make sense, because you can't offer, literally, equity means the quality of being fair and impartial. So it literally can't be discriminatory. Yeah. It makes zero sense, but it doesn't have to. It's just catchy. And what you said about woke being used with a negative connotation, what you have to understand with white supremacists, it is a negative connotation, because the last thing they want is for people to be conscious. The last thing that they want is for people to recognize what the true agenda is and what's really going on. They want people to watch the shiny ball while we do our shady stuff over here. That's what they want. They don't want you to be awake. Being woke, in the eyes of white supremacy, it is a negative. That is the last thing they want. That's why they didn't want you reading. They don't want you to be conscious. They don't want their workplaces diverse. They don't want their workplaces equitable. They don't want their workplaces inclusive. They want them white. That's what they want.
Specifically, they're white, because
they're white.
This is what I will say about white supremacy. And a lot of white people are starting to be awakened by what this administration is doing, because they were sold a bill of goods that they were going to be taken away from others. And now what the administration is actually doing is taking away a lot of things from their base.
Yes.
And you're seeing some backlash, and you're seeing these town halls where these Republicans are having these town halls and people are upset. And you get on the talking news sites, and Republicans are saying, oh, this was all a George Soros backed, they're Democrats. It's always something else.
It's always
right?
somebody else and something
it's always
else. Yes.
Always somebody else and something else.
Not their poor decision making.
And I think like the backlash specifically from Jackie Robinson was strong and forceful, because this is another example of them disrespecting a veteran.
Yeah.
Somebody who
Because they
fought.
don't care.
Well, they don't care,
They don't care.
but people do care.
Yes.
Like even people who may be against DEI, we're like, well, wait a minute, that's not right, right?
Yeah.
Like even people who are against DEI are like, well, wait a minute, hold up. That's not right.
Right.
And that's the reason why there was backlash. And then they thought that they could just do this because they thinking that, hey, we are running on this DEI thing. We got people, the loudest people are typically the weakest and the smallest group, but they're loud.
Mhm.
And they're like, we got strong backing from a lot of people who are supporting us. Let's take down that Jackie Robinson page. Let's see how far we can go. And this administration is pushing the limit on everything.
Yeah. They just repealed that in federal contracts, it's no longer illegal to offer segregated facilities.
Yeah, well, you know.
I mean, obviously, it's symbolic, but the symbolism's not great, guys.
I've been watching this. It's the Boston Celtics documentary on Max. I believe it's on Max. And it's being done by Bill Simmons. I used to be a huge fan of Bill Simmons. He's also the guy behind the 30 for 30 documentary. He's just a good documentarian. He's from Boston. They're talking about the history of Boston, more specifically the Boston Celtics. And Boston has this reputation of being a racist town. I've been to Boston.
Yeah.
One time.
Yeah.
I was on the outskirts of Boston, was taken to this bar where I was the only Black person. And I was like, this don't feel good to me.
Yeah.
And I was treated, I don't know what they said behind my back, but they ain't say nothing to my face.
Right.
Now, granted, I'm also, a large human being,
Yeah.
but I was treated fairly decently in Boston. But
Yeah.
Boston absolutely has a history of racism. And in this documentary, they were talking about the conflict that a lot of the Black players had in the 60s and 70s while the race riots were going out. And why were they having race riots in the 70s? Because they wanted to integrate the schools in the 70s.
Yeah.
And they're like, why don't they go to their own schools? Because it's not equal. And what's the big deal of going to the same school? Why is it that you hate Black people so much that you don't even want to share a pool with them? Like you heard about the cement in the pool. And for those that don't know, once segregation was over and integration was introduced, a lot of people, a lot of pools in the South, public pools, decided that they were going to fill the pools up with cement so that they wouldn't have to share pools with Black people.
Yeah.
And then went and started country clubs, which was a economic issue because poor white folks was right there with them filling up the cement, but they didn't have the money to get into these country clubs. So they would take away from themselves just to make sure that you didn't have anything.
But again, serving wealth, right?
Right.
It's serving wealth again. And it's the same thing that they're doing by voting for Trump. It's you are acting in the service of wealth. Yes. And you're getting no benefit. In fact, he's actually taking things away from you.
Yes.
Because the wealth is about accumulation. So even the little things that you got, they want. And you are acting in service of them. Just like when y'all was overseers, you're still doing the same thing over and over, and you still don't have anything from that time to now. Y'all still poor. Y'all are still poor. From that time to now, y'all still don't have nothing. Like, does anybody ever stop and think about that? Man, we have been in service of this party, of the Republican Party, and in the service of wealth and white supremacy. And it's been, in 100 years, we still poor.
Well,
generationally.
I got in an argument with somebody earlier this week, and it was like, well, they were Democrats. And I was like, oh.
Again.
Yes, there was a switch during the civil rights movement.
We know that America changes the definition of things constantly to serve its own interests. So please stop playing that game.
They're not going to stop.
Please stop playing that game.
They're going to play it.
America changes the definition of things, whether it's race, gender, sexuality, doesn't matter. America changes the definition of things constantly to serve its own interests.
Yeah.
It even changes the definition of whiteness constantly to serve its own interests.
Oh, the definition of whiteness has expanded because it used to be like
very contracted, very limited.
Yeah, Italians weren't white.
No, the Irish weren't white.
Uh,
They weren't. They
they
weren't
they
in
weren't.
the country clubs.
Nah, they weren't in the. There was actually anti-Irish signs at a
Yes.
certain point. Yes.
Yes.
So, but well, look, you had Conor McGregor to come to the White House and say something. The White House sure does like positioning rapists in positions of power, don't they?
Well,
Giving them
they
speaking.
can't help that because when you are based in degeneracy,
Mm,
the leader of your party is a sexual offender
multiple times.
multiple times. You can't help but end up surrounding you. So like attracts like.
Oh.
So that's why that is the way it is.
I do see something, and I know a lot of people aren't going to see it. A lot of people can't see it
Mhm.
because they're angry and they're being overwhelmed by negative news of what this administration is doing.
Mhm.
But I do see a tide turning. I don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take. It could be short. It could be long. But I do see a tide turning. People are saying the country is going back, and yes and no, because there's more people who are different
Mhm.
than, let's say, the 50s or the 60s.
Yes.
Right? There are less of these straight arrow white people that have anti-DEI racist ideology. There's less of them now,
Yeah.
collectively as a percentage,
Yeah.
than there was back then.
Yes.
And there are more people who are more conscious. I'm
Mhm.
speaking specifically about white people, but just everybody, because they just came out. I forgot what the actual numbers were, but the Trump administration just took away legal status for a bunch of Venezuelans, Cubans, and
Mhm.
Nicaraguans,
Mhm. And
and
Haitians, please
Ha-
don't. Yeah, please
and
don't forget
Haitians.
Haitians are always lumped in there as well. So
And they just took away legal status for all these people and a lot, but I was focusing mainly on the Cubans, Venezuelans, Nicaraguan, but yes, Haitian as well, but specifically for those three groups,
Mhm.
voted heavily for the Republican Party,
Mhm.
heavily. And now they're starting to be like, well, wait a minute, hold on. We was talking about them others. Because
Yeah.
even in their own groups, even in own racial groups, there are power dynamics and social economic it what's the words I'm looking for?
Right, because I mean the same I
Well, no,
said,
not right, because I didn't say the word. What's
I
what's the
mean,
word I'm looking for?
I get what you mean.
But
There's
the audience.
hierarchies.
Thank you,
Yes,
hierarchies,
yeah.
thank you. I was gonna do
But I
history.
mean, this was the same thing. People treat the Latino community. Latino just means that you are from Latin America.
Mhm.
But just know it's white, black, indigenous.
Yep.
That's what's down there. Okay. So when you come to America and it's no longer about your nationality, right? It's no longer, oh, I'm Colombian, or I'm Nicaraguan, or I'm from El Salvador. Like it's less about that and more about your race, because that's what America is. You're gonna identify with the race that you're more closely tied to. So you
Yeah.
got a lot of Latinos, white Latinos, that come up here, identify with whiteness, vote with whiteness, and forget that they are not included in the definition of what white is in America.
Yes. And what
Because
the
again,
point
that definition changes.
the definition changes. And but the point I'm trying to make is I see a shift. I'm looking at it.
Mhm.
I'm seeing it.
Mhm.
This administration is ishing on a lot of their constituency, a lot of their
Yes.
base.
Yeah.
And these people are starting to be like, wait a minute, it wasn't supposed to happen to us, it's supposed to happen to them. And the administration can't change certain rules where it won't be affected. If they're
Yeah.
trying to affect a certain group of people
Yes.
and they change rules, it's going to affect other groups of people that are part of their base, whether they wanted to or not.
Yes.
Because you're doing these broad, generalized
Yeah. If you're
kind of
taking away social programs from black and brown people, you're taking them away from white people as well.
right. And people who identify as white, even though
Yes.
they technically might not be white as white is identified in America.
Right.
So I see a shift. I see it happening.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know when it's going to happen, but there's going to be a groundswell. And if you're a historian, you always see
Mhm.
when the powerful go for power grabs,
Mhm.
even when they were in the favor of the people, when they consistently go for more and more power, the people will turn against them. It's happened throughout history since the beginning of time.
Yes.
That's how empires have crumbled.
Yes.
So they want to destroy themselves. Let them destroy themselves. That's what I've been about this whole time. They're doing it. They're doing the work for us. We just need to bring attention to it, shine light on how their actions is affecting people that actually voted for them.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is Black people ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
We're going to be here. We're going to stay here. And guess what? Just because y'all stressed out about what's going on, we ain't going to be stressed out because, like I said, we've been here before.
Yeah, Black people are embracing joy and community and self-care and healing, and that's what we're doing right now. So all of y'all that try to rage bait us, especially you trying to rage bait Black women into getting on the front lines and organizing and getting stuff together. No, we gave you a candidate. We gave you the most qualified candidate in the history of anybody who's ever run for president in this country.
Oh, okay. That's being a little hyperbolic.
I mean, no, is it? Because think about it. She served in every level and every branch of government.
I get it. But I mean, there's also, she didn't have more political standing than my man Lyndon Baines Johnson. Okay, you just
love Lyndon Baines Johnson, and I get it.
Love him.
I get it. I don't dislike Lyndon Baines Johnson.
Even though somebody brought it to my attention the other day, they was like, you used to say the N-word all the time, and I said, you know what? Sometimes you got to say it.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
So everything he did for us.
No.
I'm gonna give a pass on that one.
No. Unacceptable. No. Unacceptable.
All right, Jay, let's wrap this up because I want to get to some more laughter.
I think we've been laughing this whole damn time, but all right.
Yeah, we have. You got any more final thoughts on this at all? You said a lot.
I think I said all I can say about DEI. It's about the erasure of Blackness from everything. Our contributions, our importance, everything is about the erasure of Blackness. And that's it. And there's nothing else to that whatsoever. Everybody else is catching strays, right? Because DEI doesn't just protect Black people, it protects all people of color. And it also makes a fair and inclusive workplace or society or whatever for people of different gender identities, sexual identities. Is there for women too. Women are feeling the sting. White women, you're going to feel the sting too.
Physical disabilities.
Physical disability, yes.
Part of DEI is building ramps for people that use wheelchairs.
Yes.
Like, that's what you're eliminating.
ADA accommodations, all of it's coming for everybody. So this is, it's erasing us, but it's going to have far-reaching impacts because any win for, again, the most vulnerable in the community is a win for everybody. Because if the most vulnerable people are able to do well, it trickles up. Nothing ever trickles down.
Right.
It goes up.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're protecting, I say this all the time, if you're protecting the most vulnerable in your community, you're serving everyone.
Well, speaking of most vulnerable.
Oh boy.
And speaking of food, we weren't speaking of food.
We weren't.
Now, but I'm hungry.
We are now.
My stomach is growling. And we was talking about my French toast earlier. But speaking of food and the most vulnerable, when I'm the most vulnerable?
I don't want to know, but go ahead and tell me anyway.
I'm the most vulnerable, especially with my money in the strip club.
I knew I didn't want to know. I knew I didn't want to know, but go ahead.
Yeah, but speaking of strip clubs got some good food. We're going to get into that next. All right, Jay, you sent me a Instagram reel of this woman doing her own Keith Lee situations of food in Atlanta strip clubs.
Yes.
And I must admit, as I was watching it, I was like, that food looks delicious.
Yeah, historically, the food in Atlanta strip club, I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but the food in Atlanta strip clubs is top tier. A lot of people go to our area strip clubs to eat. I mean, you get to see dancing and stuff, so you get a show as well. But a lot of them like, look, there's lamb chops at KOD, and they $5. Like, you want hit up, kick it down, like, what's up?
Look, there's a scene from Parks and Rec where they're at a strip club, and Ron Swanson, who's one of my favorite characters on the show, says, I don't have any desire for these women in here. I go for the strong, silent type, your Cheryl Swoops, your Serena Williamses of the world, but I'll never turn down a breakfast buffet. And he is just grubbing on the breakfast buffet because the food is delicious.
Yeah.
Now, it's not a strip club. It's like it's a strip club, but they don't get completely nude. They have pasties on. They just don't, and they don't take the bottoms off. And it's right down the road from me. And I used to go there every Monday when I lived across the street. I used to love that place because the food there is phenomenal. And it's attached to another sports bar. And you would say, well, the food would be the same because they're attached to a sports bar that's right up less than a block away.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, they leave. I spoke to the owner one time. He's like, no, the strip club gets the best cuts of meat, the best quality from all of our food intake. The strip club gets the best. And then we leave it at the restaurant. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. It seems like you would give the restaurant the best food. It's like people are going to come to the restaurant regardless. We come to the strip club, you're going to eat and drink and spend money. Now, you live right around the corner from a strip club that I have been talking about going to for the longest.
I don't know why you just won't go.
Well, I'm going to go now, more specifically because it was featured in this Instagram reel that you sent to me.
Yes.
And so I need to go for a food. So that's the excuse that I'm going to use, but I'm also going for the women.
Yes. Don't live too far from the Blue Flame. and I'm looking at their menu right now, and boy, they look, you want a happy hour, $7 Hennessy? Huh?
What?
$7 Casamigo Reposado?
Are you kidding me? Oh,
$5 Ciroc, all flavors.
You kidding me?
Okay.
That's the happy hour.
That's happy hour from 1 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Happy hours don't last at 8 p.m. and they don't start at 1. And you say Monday through Friday?
Yep.
That's a lunch happy hour.
Yeah.
Look, okay.
Come through.
I think I'm coming down. I think I'm going to come down next month or May.
Okay.
Because it's time for my quarterly visit down to Atlanta. And I'm going to Blue Flame.
Go.
And I'm going to report back what the food is.
Beautiful girls. Lovely experience. I went one time. Okay. And good food.
But
great drink specials.
That sound like great shrimp. $7 Hennessy, that's dangerous. But a lot of people are going to be like, ooh, food in the strip club. Now, me being the germophobic person that I am.
Looking at naked.
Right.
They also have to abide by like the Department of Health. And a lot of these strip clubs have A ratings.
You have to have an A rating. Look, if a strip club got a C or D rating.
That's bad.
All right, I'm gonna tell a story. One time, me and one of my boys went to this strip club in Southeast DC. And there was 2 right across from one another.
Yeah.
It was one that was Hood, and there was one that was Nexus Gold. So Nexus Gold was a chain. I don't know what happened to Nexus Gold, but it was very Harry Belafonte.
Okay.
So we went to the Hood one first.
Yeah.
We saw C-sections and gunshot wounds, but the food looked like it was slamming.
Yeah.
So we got some wings, and then we tailed out of there and went to Nexus Gold next, where we were ordering $20 shots.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And I think we spent like $250 for a take. I spent so much money at that place. We didn't get the food there because we had just ate it at the Hood spot. We was like, man, them wings there. I wonder if they give wings to go.
I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you. But all I know is Atlanta area strip clubs, delicious cuisine, top tier. Like, I think you can get like a gold leaf wrapped lobster roll for like it's $100, but it's like choice Maine lobster wrapped in gold leaf at King of Diamonds. Like
Jesus.
it's insane the quality of the food at Atlanta strip clubs.
So do major chefs cook at these strip clubs? Like, I mean, like what? Why is the food so good?
You look it. I don't know. I don't know why they invested so much in the cuisine quality. I don't know, but they get a lot of business. People just coming to eat.
It was a lot of people in these reels. It was a lot of people wasn't paying no attention to the girls. Was just steady on that food.
Eating.
Eating.
Yes.
And now you told me right down the street from you, I can walk there. Now I'm not going to walk there.
No.
I'm not going to walk there.
Yes.
I can walk there, but I'm not going to walk there.
Yeah, there's no sidewalk.
Yeah, no, it's a little dangerous. It's a little dangerous.
No sidewalk. Yeah.
But the fact that they got it, I don't drink Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Hennessy is tasty.
Yes.
Funny story. I was out. I can't remember who I was with, but I was with I know she was white.
Yeah.
A female friend of mine that was white, and I was out with a group of her friends.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was out celebrating her birthday. Okay. I know exactly who it is. I was out celebrating her birthday with her friends.
Okay.
And that's the only reason why I was out, because it was her birthday.
Right.
Because I don't like being in white spaces a whole lot.
Yeah.
But so the person was like, "Hey, you guys want a shot?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take a shot." And he bought us a shot of Hennessy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't drink Hennessy. I know it's, most Black people drink Hennessy. I think the biggest consumer of Hennessy is Black folks.
It's probably us for sure. Yeah.
But I don't drink Hennessy.
Yeah.
And I looked at my friend and I was like, your friend is racist as hell, because this is a stereotype. I drink tequila.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, he got me one too. And I was like, yeah, he probably got you one because you with me, thinking that because you with me that you drink Hennessy. Do you drink Hennessy? No, I've never had Hennessy before. I was like, I have. Let's just take this shot. Yeah. And we took the shot and we was like, damn, this is tasty as hell.
Yeah, no, Hennessy is very good. There is like a seafood spot near me that makes a strawberry Hennessy margarita. And when I tell you, it is the tastiest thing. And those things get you messed up.
I just want to point out that as many times as I've been to Atlanta, and it was 4 times last year alone. Yeah. Okay. Not once have you taken me to any of these places. Okay?
I am so sorry. Because here's the thing. I know you for liking chicken tenders.
I do.
Okay. So when I'm like,
wings.
So when I'm like, oh, my favorite Korean barbecue spot, Bruce probably is not going to like that.
No, I want to go to that Korean barbecue.
It's literally a heaven on earth. It's all you can eat. It's delicious. It's a heaven. The drinks, so good there. Like, yes,
we've established. I don't like dinner.
You don't like dinner.
I don't want to go out for lunch. Dinner. But we can go for lunch.
Yeah.
But all these places, you're like, this place in Atlanta, this place, and I know, as my best friend has said, that I'm a chicken finger eating bitch. I know that. Yeah. Okay. But I do like food.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll take you some of my favorite spots and we get some good drinks and some good food then.
Yeah.
And we just go early in the day. We won't do dinner.
Well, I mean, we could even do dinner if I'm weird. I know this is weird about me. Yeah. If I could go for dinner and sit at the bar, that's okay. It's something about that table. I don't know what it is. I probably need some therapy to dig down deep and find out what that trauma is. I don't know what that is, but I have no problem going to the strip clubs and eating at 9:00 at night though. That's a different environment because you know what? It's a party. It's not stuffy.
Well, maybe you would like the Korean barbecue because you're not just sitting down and they're handing you you're actively, cooking and doing stuff and like.
Well, I don't want to cook my own food now.
Well, usually the servers are doing most of the work. You can help. Like I like to do it because I'd be like, this pork belly is cooking up real nice. I like to
Nah.
get it to like the steaks and stuff to I like medium rare, so I take mine off early, stuff like that. So yeah, I do participate.
No, I don't want to participate because you already seen what I did to them peppers when I tried to saute them.
That's true.
So now
That's
just
true.
let the professionals cook the food.
Yeah,
I'm just going to consume the food.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
But back to these Atlanta strip clubs, I feel like we should do our own Keith Lee. Our brother won't do strip clubs. He's not a fan of strip clubs, but maybe if we could convince him.
Maybe if we tell him it's a food tour.
A food tour. That he would join along with strip
clubs. Yeah, and let's see for ourselves.
Yeah.
Is it worth the hype?
We should do that. We should do that and then advertise it on the podcast. We should do it. We should do an exclusive show of us touring Atlanta strip clubs, trying out the food, doing our own fake Keith Lee impersonations.
Right. And let's do our own research. As I think we are food connoisseurs. We come from, now you got to understand, Maryland, DC, you can get everything. Yeah. Any nationalities, food, like you can get, DC is a great food town. It really is.
People say that it isn't though.
I think it is. I think you got to go to where the people are. Like, stop going to the same places over and over again. You got to go to where the people are. You got to go and stretch and get out of your comfort zone to find that real good Ethiopian spot or something like that. Like, it's not going to be on that same stretch of Georgetown or whatever the hell people be going to.
It might be at the strip clubs. I just don't know.
It might be at the strip club.
I just don't know what strip clubs is popping in DC. Hey, if y'all know what strip clubs is popping in DC that got good food, hit my DMs. I am always willing to take a food adventure that just happen to have naked women. My two favorite things.
Let us know.
Food and women.
Let us know.
But on that note, Jay, what do you want to leave the people out here with?
Man, don't judge a book by its cover. You get some good food at a strip club.
I can't wait to go to the buffet and try this happy hour. I might catch a flight within the next couple of weeks just to do that specifically. But on that note, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla.
This is like a little bit of poetic justice.
My whole life has changed.
That is not poetic justice. that is genuine differences.
No. She says that in my whole life.
No, again, it's genuine.
I know my whole life has changed.
That's genuine. Not the words to her song.
Look, all right. Well, look, I sing it the way I want.
It does go. But here's the thing about Janet. She doesn't enunciate well. None of them Jacksons do. So you can't really understand what they're saying 100% of the time.
Why did Jacksons catch a strange right now?
I mean, because what is Shimon? All the Jacksons do this.
Well, the Boondocks that describe what Shimon is. It was the child that was an alien that killed. Michael was an alien that killed Shimon, the 10th Jackson.
No.
All right, let's get started.
All right.
I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this intro.
I thought you just had it.
I had it, but I'm gonna remix it. I'm gonna freestyle it. We gonna just let it ride. I got a shout out from. Our mutual friend who is actually a post-production editor and stuff like that. And they said to me, hey man, these new reels you're putting out, you got the new edits, man, they're looking good. Yeah. And I was like, thank you. I'm putting work in there. I'm actually getting more pleasure out of the post-production.
It's fun. It's fun to be creative. That's why I've always liked, initially when I got into film, I wanted to be an editor.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be a film editor because that's, to me, is where the movie actually comes together. Yeah, they got hours and hours of film, but the editor is the person that takes all of these different cuts and shots and things and makes an actual movie,
right?
For the people to enjoy. So it's like that's the creative part to me. That's what I love to do.
Yeah, no, I'm digging the hell out of it. It's time consuming, but you know.
Yeah.
I got a little thing. I got a little routine. And I'm like, okay. Put the little music in the background. I'm like, yo, these clips is, boy, I'm telling you.
Doing all right. I posted today. I posted some today. So I've been doing all right.
Yeah. You know, I was like, hey, look, I'm glad we didn't blow up before because our content was shit.
You're right.
Visually.
Yes.
We out here making good content. But all right, let's get to the segment because we dilly-dadding a little too damn long.
Well, we hadn't talked because I've been sick.
Yeah, well, that's that too.
Yeah, good show. No, I'm serious. The food idea, going for strip club, just feel like we just can't even get a plate, brother. You know, we'll definitely look at you. We'll definitely look at the girls to tip them off something a little bit, but we came here to eat, bro. Because I didn't know that the food was that good at all these strip clubs. And then they brought up some strip clubs I hadn't heard of. Most of the ones on the list I knew, but some of them I hadn't heard of. And I'm like, dang, that buffet looked like it's popping.
Look, you need to go.
Gotta go. Gotta make that tour. Yeah.
Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you really feel generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.